Thanks for being here. Let's do it. Anybody have a question?
Who are the influencers that you like listening to right now that you like? Are you listening to anyone, or are you just making up your own stuff and you're all good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have genuinely, this is like a straight up thing, and you know, it's funny, did you guys see that I posted my report card?
Yeah.
That was a really interesting insight to me, which is, I just didn't realize how many people didn't believe me. I just continued to not be believed. Like, it's my life. Like, I think people think I'm exaggerating. Like, I think people thought I was a B and C student. Like, and that was a really interesting insight to me. Like, when I tell you that I've never listened to anybody, I could not tell you, I've never read a line of Seth Godin content in my life. And so, and I genuinely believe with my whole heart that that has a lot to do with why I do well. Because if you're consuming, you're regurgitating, and everybody's consuming the same shit. And so I think the reason, I don't think I'm that smart. I just think I say the same stuff as other people. I just think that because I don't know how it's actually said, I came up with my way of saying it, and that just might have worked for people because they just heard it a different way. I genuinely believe that. Yeah. And so I think that's interesting. And so I protect that. I think I protected it through school by getting D's and F's, and I think I protect it through the way I run my life, which is I consume you. I consume your reactions, you know, and that gives me insight. So yeah, I don't really listen. I don't need anything, you know?
Is that what you prescribe for other people too?
If they can pull it off. I just think I'm dramatically more talented than other people.
Yeah.
What's it look like for you to balance business and family well?
It's a moving target.
Yeah.
And I haven't always done it well. You guys, for the hardest core of you, you guys have heard me say, like, I regret the first 5 years of my marriage. We should have went, I wish I had those memories of those 7 to 10 vacations, you know? But it helped me do a better job with the kids, you know? I don't have those regrets. I'm pumped that I started my day today at 10 and watched Misha and Xander's assembly. You know, something that I don't know if I would have done 12 years ago. So it's a moving target, and the truth is, for anybody that's struggling with it or thinking about it, it just only works the way everything works, which is constant communication. What Lizzie cares about is different today than what she cared about yesterday, let alone 2 years ago.
So, first off, thanks for having us here. Appreciate it.
No worries.
So what's your
It was funny, when I did that offer, I was like, what's the bet, you know, it's like, I was like, cause did anybody do the same thing with Thank You Economy? Was anybody been around long enough for that? So with Thank You Economy, I did a similar thing, like buy this thing and something's gonna happen, buy the books, and we sent a thank you box, right? We just sent but it was like $100 worth of shit, which was like more than the books cost, and I was like proud, I was like, you know, like, that was good, like they've got more stuff, but I was like, what's, you know, the number one asset is access. People are willing to fly from fucking Australia, you know, Alaska.
I
You know,
say to my husband,
you must have been so pissed, right? You're like, I got Georgia, and then she's like, she's like Australia. You're like, fuck. Yeah. That's awesome.
There's somebody coming from Ireland who's not here yet.
Oh.
Like,
Wow.
literally coming from the airport.
Amazing.
Anyway,
What was
so,
that? Yeah, brother.
Question was, can you break down like your thought process when you enter a room? Like, how do you break down the situation? How do you analyze it? Like, how do you choose what actions to take?
That's interesting.
How do you read people?
I come in blank. That's why I like Q&A. I come in blank and super confident. And I stay to my shit. Boy, will I not reach. You know, this is a really interesting transformation even for me the last year, because obviously my profile is much stronger than it was a year ago today, and I've been around for a decade digitally. So I've been noticed and in the game since 2006. But between the content, I mean, it's so funny, whenever anybody razzes me on social, like, especially Instagram, where my strategy has been very quote driven and very rah-rah, the most version of myself there, because it's just the medium that I think it's right for, right? So there, more than anywhere else, because fucking Facebook is really detailed with the show and other things, there I'll get the occasional like, all right, enough, I get it, hustle, like, fucking give me a detail. And I always get so pissed at that person, because I'm like, you're such a fucking idiot. I'm giving you details every day. Watch me. Don't listen to me, do what I'm doing. It will work. It works every time. So, I don't even know why I went there, but the punchline is I stay in my lane. I know what I'm talking about what I'm talking about. And so what I'm pretty good at actually is forcing the room to go in my direction. Like if I walked into a room and the conversation was gonna be about SEO, because they're like, hey, I hear Vayner's now doing everything, we really wanna talk about SEO, I'll energy-wise push them into Facebook and social, it's what I wanna talk about. So I keep it on my turf. And then, actually I think I can break this down. I keep it on my turf, but then everything else is about them. That's the non-debatable. It's gonna be on my turf. Now, tell me what you want. Even this, there's no debate of the format. There's no like, how do you guys wanna do this? This is what we're gonna do. Now everything else is about you. Got it?
You ever have to go on the defense, or you just have the ball in your court?
I'm never on defense. I'll bail. I'll bail. When I was dating, if I saw anything that wasn't, if I dated, so I hate negativity. It's why we have a great culture. If I dated a girl that I realized very quickly, like she liked it was intriguing to have conflict, I literally bailed immediately, out forever. I have no effort for defense. I'm trying to win every game 477 to 433, and I'm talking about baseball. You know what I mean? Like it's pure.
Baseball, but yeah.
But you know what I mean? But baseball, where there's lower scoring. That's why that's the analogy. Fucking soccer. Like I'm trying to score so many points that I'm not worried about the casualties. Raman, you know this more because you've been at Vayner so much. Like I never care about the failures at Vayner. I love when people come into me and be like, listen, I gotta talk to you about this problem. It's really gonna undermine us. I'm like, are you a fucking idiot? How the fuck do you think we got here? If you want me to play your micro game, I'm gonna look like everybody else. So I'm always on the offense, always macro, and always very aware of what I want to happen.
So with that, you're running an old school business model and scaling it, like.
Because
this is an old school business model.
100%.
Old school, like not new school with new school technology.
Every internet friend I had texted me that I was a fucking idiot for starting VaynerMedia.
And this move is an old school move, and it's a huge risk.
What's a risk?
Taking on a building and the amount of people. How are you scaling the unscalable? This is unscalable to everyone's imagination.
Right, because I recognize that that's my strength. My strength is people. My strength is marketing.
How do you teach this young crowd old school? Because most of them don't look like they got out of college.
You'd be stunned how many of the young kids have old school tactics and beliefs, and how many of the old school have young school tactics. It's not an age thing, it's a DNA thing.
So you're hiring DNA that way.
We're trying, by the way, no, we're firing people that don't have the DNA.
I get it. Yeah. That's smart.
People are crippled by, I mean, look, you have insight. I mean, throw it in here, you've been around.
I've worked in a lot of different ad agencies, and this is by far the friendliest place I've ever
Because of course it's true, because I fire all the bad people. And by the way, if you're here for a week and you're in that moment where, somebody can hide here for even a year. We're at scale. They may be able to, kind of get away with it for a little while, but not for real. You know what I mean? And a year is probably impossible. 6 months, yes.
Yeah, it's a great one.
So, to the answer is, because that's what I'm good at. That was the punchline. Let me build, do you know how impossible this company is to beat? I got the craziest email from a recruiter. The craziest, which was, I've been trying to recruit from we were put on an assignment to steal your people by a competitor. We got 0. He's like, we've never seen this before. Can we work with you? So, I just thought I could do it. It's really no different than being the best basketball player or singer, I don't know, that sounds hard, So scalability doesn't scare me because people have scaled people for many years. We're just in a tech age where it doesn't seem as cool, Hell yeah.
Just on that growth thing, I don't know how big or small my businesses are, but going from that kind of lifestyle where business where your business is creating cash and you've got a small team to going to a much larger performance business where potentially there's a bit in the middle, this desert where cash flow dries up or and profit goes down.
Yes.
I've got a great lifestyle business that generates a stack of cash.
Yep.
And I want to go to a performance business, but I know there's this hideous desert in the middle, and I'm going to get through that as quickly as possible. So you've done that a couple of times.
Yes, I have.
What would, like, if you were...
What's the
had a
punchline?
Yeah, other than all the stuff that I know already that you said.
The punchline is all the stuff that you know that I already said, which is those 3 years are not just going to be as fun,
Yeah, and do it fast.
but also respect that it might take some time.
Yeah, right. But no different.
You're such a young woman. Like, what's wrong with
You'd be
two?
surprised, I'm 44.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not-
fine. You're such a young woman. Like, what's wrong with 2 years in between?
Nothing, I'm not
That's,
afraid of
by the way,
hard work,
that's it.
but, yeah, okay, there you go.
We're gonna make less money this year at 100 million than we made last year at 67.
Yeah, right.
Why?
Net. I don't mean percentage. Net.
Yeah, right.
Why?
Because I'm getting greedier.
No.
Meaning, they're in trouble. Them. I see it, which means I overinvested. More people, more capabilities, because I'm gonna take the whole fucking pie. So,
What is
you know what I mean? Like, I'm not worried about how much cash I'm gonna take home in 2016, because I can take a lot more in 2020 than it's much more fun to take home 44 million in 2020 than 3 million in 2017, 18, and 19, instead of 4 million in 20. Like, people are, 99% of the market is short term. And the 1% that isn't and has the talent wins every time. Which makes no sense, because unless you're gonna die, you should only play long term. There was a stat that some dude in Mexico City said, one of these like futurist type of characters, I'm sure he's smart. I have no idea who, but he was right before me as I was mic'd up, and he says, it's been scientifically proven, so I don't know if it has or not, because I've learned to take that with a grain of salt, but that 85% of what humans make decisions about is irrational. And that spoke to me, because A, I think it's higher, and B, it's why I think all my success is happening. I am stunningly the most rational and the most practical of all, yet I don't seem it. And when he said it, I'm like, right, that's why. Because the rest of the market is irrational.
I always find it intriguing of how people share their story about discovering you. My friend was interviewed by Marie Forleo.
Yes.
And you were the next video on the queue being interviewed when Jeb came out. So
Okay.
it's like, right, who the hell is this?
Yeah.
That's it. I was a follower then.
Right.
Do you still take that mentality of being everywhere?
Yes.
Like the 8 View podcast
Never too
or whatever,
fancy.
when there's not a book involved?
Yes.
Okay. Because I mean, the potential of being in front of everyone that doesn't even know who you are is like, it's just crazy.
It is crazy. Or is it?
There's plenty of people opening up fast food things with 2 million YouTube followers. I think we could bump your number up a little bit.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I think you know this at this point. Like, I really mean that. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
330,000? Mazel tov.
Yeah.
And?
Yeah. And then they're most loyal followers too.
And if not, I'm gonna make more money than Pootie Pie. Honey Empire. Honey Empire. They both matter. And who?
How do you maintain that?
By making all my actions honey and empire,
Yeah.
and then letting the people that are capable stay, and letting the people that are not capable either choose or be forced to leave.
So empower them with that decision. Yeah.
Binary. Like, let me hang on here because I want you to get it. Through my actions. That's it. I sent an email to 140 employees this week asking for who the strongest and the weakest employee was that they work with. It sent garbage through our company. People emailing that we've changed, people emailing like websites to post it, like fear. Gave me an indication on who's scared, who's not, who understands, who doesn't. Everybody boxes everything in and creates context, which means they then lose context. The reason I scale so well is every behavior I do is predicated on creating the most context from the reaction to my action.
Congruency.
Yeah, it's like, I don't even know what that means, but probably. I'm being dead serious, I really don't. But you know what I mean? Like even an indicator of like, I have it's interesting, the people I don't know, the people I do know, like why they're here, it's all context building. I'm obsessed with context. I'm the greatest listener you've ever met. It's just that I talk so much nobody realizes it.
So you say, which I kind of trying to recalibrate my brain around to, like you love losing.
Love it.
And
you know why?
No.
Because I don't care how anybody judges my losses. You only care about losing because you care about what other people think about your loss.
Yeah. And so on that note, because I saw you at Traffic Conversion in San Diego.
Yes, that was a good one.
It was a lot of fun. First time I saw you, and then.
Did you know who I was before?
Sorry.
Did you know who I was before I took the stage?
No.
That's the best.
And so immediately, my wife and I were driving home from San Diego to Orange County, and we started like figuring out that you had a podcast. And so I went back in time from like the first one all the way up to like the ones we have now, right? Like 200 stuff.
I appreciate it.
And it's
so what did you take away from it?
Just
like in that kind of a binge, what was like coming with zero context? Yeah. What was like the
biggest things? I think
the greatest human ever.
That one of them.
Yes.
I have no idols myself. Like you
yes.
are the one that I would say is like the closest because you are doing exactly what I would do, and I have like
a
mini agency.
Love it. Good for you.
Close to anything of what you're doing, and so.
And you know what's so crazy about that? Even the way you hedge it, it means nothing, right? Like I'm always fascinated by what, like I appreciate the humility and like, it's so interesting that we do that as humans, like even context shit like that. Yeah. Keep going.
So, I almost lost like my train of thought. So,
that's right, I already lost it once today.
One of the biggest takeaways that you mentioned, and this is not even a question, I just want to say thank you, is the net thing of like all the small things that you lose, but in the big picture, like 99% of the things don't matter, like you recently posted on Instagram. And so
dude, I swear on the New York Jets, which I've never lied on in my entire life, I genuinely only care about the health of my family. It's so crazy, you couldn't even wrap your head around it. Do you know how many copies of a book of how VaynerMedia went from 100 million to going out of business I could sell? All of them. Like, it's a no-lose game for me. It's not scary.
One of the recent daily V's you mentioned, it was like the hockey stick curve, like the last 6 months of like, what was it, like 500K like subscribers? Like
Facebook.
So yeah, well, I know if your team or you like analyze like the metrics and the analytics of just seeing, I know your content's just insane lately.
Yeah, but it's the 5 or 6 videos that go ballistic that change the outcome.
And then, like this,
the fucking intern video went insano. Like, I mean, it's so crazy. It actually 2 new demos for me in some level. You can tell Danny if he wants to hang, he can. The urban market because of Breakfast Club, right? Yeah. Hip hop, African American, Latino, just hip hop heads, like sneaker heads, like Breakfast Club went viral. Those clips with Shah the God, right? Viral. So a lot more urban. And the intern video, and much younger. That's it. 2 huge new demos that a video that got 20, 30 million reach on Facebook created. Facebook's television, guys. You're 1 video away from changing your life. People just don't believe it. And people are also not willing to make a video every day, always, constantly. And most importantly, and this is just straight up, most people aren't capable of producing content every day that's interesting, good, thoughtful, entertaining, fascinating, pretty. Like, it's hard. I think I said it today, or did I say it today? Like on social, like talent, or I made a video, D-Rock, help me. Where did I do that? Talent is, the interview. With talent, guys, talent. Yeah. Talent's real. It's a real thing.
Which platform has your most responsive audience? You have yes or no question. Who responds the most and the fastest?
I think the attention is deepest on Snapchat. I really do. By like percentage, Facebook. You know what's so funny? Back to the analytics. Like, I'm in the branding business, and all of you guys are in the sales business. And once you understand what I mean by that, that's where the whole thing unlocks. Everybody's into the sales. What I mean by that is everybody's trying to look at the tactics. I'm in the religion. The reason I don't know is because I'm playing forever and I'm building brand.
Yep.
That just doesn't matter.
You talked about that at
By the way, I'll go in a second. If that was the way the game was played, everybody's looking at the metrics. If this was math, it would have been figured out a long time ago. You need to let that go.
Right.
Math gets you rich. You can figure out a conversion, a landing page optimization, a moment in time. Math doesn't get you what I want.
So when we coach, we talk about you gotta have perspective to see kind of what the athlete's doing. You gotta have a vision, coach's eye. You have to have attention. If you can't get them to pay attention to you, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And the next thing is direction. You have perspective, talent. You have the ability to see things that probably a lot of us miss. I get that. You definitely have our attention though. You have now we're looking at you saying, well, we want to mirror it. We might not be able to keep it the same pace.
A version of it for myself. And I push that hard. I want to make sure everybody gets their version of it around what they want. I hate when kids are like, I want to buy the Cavaliers now. I'm like, did you before? You know?
They're missing the point though.
They're missing the point.
Yeah, the people that say, okay,
That's right.
Yeah, so you have our attention, and that's probably the event too.
Yes.
What's the direction though? What's the next move? Because you're pushing
From me or through you guys to you?
through us.
Self-awareness.
Can't give that.
Nope.
Can't give that though.
Yeah. I don't want to give you anything else. You know what I mean? You have to understand, advice is a shit business because you lack context. I mean, do you know how much context to give you real advice I would need in this setting? Is your dad sick? Did your mom leave your dad? Do you have a sibling that's fucking crushing it and always did? Do you have, there's so much context I actually need to give the direction that I would feel good about, that I'd rather in a world where everybody's selling tactics and advice and direction, I'm going to be an ungodly force of nature against leveling up the thinking at every moment. And then through my actions, hoping that you guys pick up on them and replicate them.
And then answering the other question, the actual tangible one for your business, what's the direction now? If you push us to buy a book, we're gonna buy a book.
Yes.
You got our attention.
Yes.
You say, hey, buy this product.
Yeah.
Small business, Vaynermedia.
I don't
we'll buy it.
want you guys.
Yeah. Because
Not yet.
compared to the
No. There's so much. You know what's, dude, think about this, and you know this. There's more money in it for me to go after you than the other.
volume. Volume's there.
Are you kidding?
But you haven't done it. You do it once every 2 years on a book for $12.
Right? Just don't need it right now. And I say right now, I mean, I've contemplated, I want to create a Vaynermedia SaaS product that's $5,000 a month that helps you. I just don't have it yet. And I can't take your $60,000 if I don't have it. But if I have it, I'll give it to you because you'll win. So Vayner Talent that you might have saw in the last episode, that's gonna be a huge department. Everybody wants to be me. There's people in here that actually would pay $25,000 for me to do it. They feel like they can make the math work to have their D-Rock and my machine. Here's the punchline, it will work. So that's cool. So I feel good about, that'll be the first time I enter into slightly that territory. Truth is, I'm gonna hold it off because I still don't wanna go there. I'll do it with, Tyra Banks, but if I can get there, I would. I only sell what I'm proud of. I'm obsessed with selling stuff. Stuff. This Amazon arbitrage is real. This eBay arbitrage is real. I don't know how much money she needs, but I can tell you it is scary if she's willing to study eBay 3 hours a night for 3 months, that I think she can make $100,000 a year going to thrift stores and garage sales. That's cool. Easy. Easier than anybody would know.
You did it last week on Snapchat with the
and by the way, books on Amazon. There's that dude who's a fan of mine, who claims he's making, right, 600,000. He's probably hit your radar maybe here and there. I don't know, some guy, if you see him on YouTube, he's made 600,000 selling books last year. He went all in, Just goes to every thrift store, takes his fucking phone out, scans every fucking book, sees the velocity, so it means they'll sell, because you don't want to get caught with inventory. Has a feel for how, if it will actually sell, and then he sees it sells for $23 on average, and it's $1 at the fucking Goodwill, and he buys it. And he did it at scale. Because if you work 18 hours, some people can't. 3 hours, like I get it, which is why I don't judge. I walked to Kmart to buy shit for $4 with my mom. Like, I've got context. I know. And guess what? I don't even really know, because both my parents lost a parent before they were 15. Like, I've had it good for my humble beginnings. Who am I? I'm not judging anybody, but I'm not gonna make it convenient for you either. That's what I believe. Right. Because I know who buys that shit. Do you understand? Yeah. And that fucking hurts me too. I'm just not gonna pick you over the other person. Just not. So, by the way, people can say anything they want and do anything they want, and they should, but that is my truth. And you're right, you don't need to be the player to be the coach. That's only one of the 40 things that sit on my head.
Yeah,
but
I agree with you. Yeah. I mean, you got to 100% believe in what you sell.
But I have the luxury to believe in what I sell. Like I said, I would steal food faster than you could blink if I had to, for my kids, if I had no money. And I would, I swear to God I would. Steal. I didn't say go in the garbage and take food, I would do that too. But steal too. Life is life.
E-commerce, we talk e-commerce?
Of course we talk anything. I mean, listen, I'm willing to talk, we could talk
Listen to my
anything.
podcast, 'cause that's all I talk about is e-commerce, Amazon and eBay and all that jazz, right? So I get people reaching out to me all the time with these new venues trying to sell.
Yes.
How do you figure out which one has the legs? You know, all these new platforms coming out. Amazon is, that big. eBay and Etsy and all the rest of them. But there's other ones coming up. How do you figure out which one has legs?
I just do them all.
Because we have
I do them all.
invest
I get it.
so much energy and effort to bring a product to market in those marketplaces.
Of course. That's the
hard part.
punchline.
That's the hard part.
Think about how
Nobody
lucky
else
you
will do
have.
it.
Think about how
Yeah,
lucky
no,
you.
you're right.
No, let's play it out. And I know you know, but let's play it out because I want everybody to hear this. Think about how lucky we have it that we're doing it digital. Because the real estate version of this is, which beachfront property do you think is going to work?
No kidding.
But if I told you if you had enough money, if you bet on 10 of them, all you need is one of them, and you'll make all your money back and then some.
So put them on all 10.
But you know what?
Figure out
I
which
know
one's
that
growing.
Peach and I know that Anchor are out there, and you guys have seen me. I'll say something about Anchor, I'll taste it for a second. I haven't done anything on Anchor for fucking 9 months, right? Figure out a version where you put in the work to actually taste it, but you don't go so overcommitted. Got it? You gotta find that right balance.
A little bit of risk.
It's about risk. Do you know what my number one asset is?
Let me think.
No fear?
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, you already
My
you
asset.
don't give a shit. That's
No,
part
my
of it.
number one asset, not my number one skill. What?
You know yourself. You know yourself.
Time.
Your ability to wake up and
Time. Time is my asset, right? It's time. And then I do all this stuff on these platforms on spec.
Yeah.
Got it? Do you know how much easier it is for me to write the $50,000 check that I gave away to the nonprofit in Canada, right? I got so many emails about that. I'm such a great guy. No, I'm not. That's the easiest nonprofit work I do. That fucking 3-hour fucking meeting I have to do with Pencils of Promise each month, that fucking blows. Time.
That's all you got.
What's the most exciting thing in your life right now? A couple things that you think about every day.
That Misha is 100% got a shot to have a bigger audience than me in about 2 years. Because she's gonna be the 9-year-old girl version of me deployed against singing and entertainment. I'm really in a good zone right now, bro. Like the most exciting thing is I've gotten to a really tight zone around health, family, and business, and it's tight. Oof.
You're a bicep lifting, all right?
Yeah, it's going right. You know, like really tight, you know? Real tight. More family time than ever. Working harder and stronger than ever, and feeling better than ever. So it's gonna play itself out. And don't forget, Lizzie married me. So it's not like she's foreign to it or scared of it, you know what I mean? So Lizzie's super capable with that. Now, the difference is supporting, at the time, a 30-year-old male's version into that game versus a 9-year-old girl's version is very different. So all different dynamics, right? Like you're getting the theme of this talk for me at least is like, it's just so many details, you know? Like there'll be a million variables there. Like most of Misha's friends are on Musical.ly and she's not. I mean, that's the irony of it all, isn't it?
Why is she not?
Because Lizzie doesn't want her on there.
And that's what I deal with kids. I deal with the dynamic between the parent not allowing it and the frustration between the kid having social dynamic differences because of it. It changes.
It's real stuff out there. But there always has been. Do you know how scared I was that Russia was gonna drop a nuclear bomb on America when I was in 3rd grade? I thought about it every day of my life. I swear to God. There's always something to be scared of. I'm just not scared because I'm just the most practical. More people will die in America this year by being struck by lightning than terrorism. I know it's true. It's just data. It's not super hard. It's not convenient or interesting or a fun thing to say. It's the truth.
There's nothing you can do about it, so why would you?
It's not even that. It's just like, but nobody, like, I mean, there's an entire there's fucking 100 million people walking around America scared of terrorism, like fearful, scared. My mother-in-law is scared shitless.
It's more dangerous crossing the road coming across.
Especially the way I do it. I don't even look.
What's the rationality for what you said?
Daily, I think it was 80, the live stream, what was that last week?
80, the long one.
Yeah. So one of my favorites, well, the favorite. Well, actually, Salty V was my favorite. Yeah, with the whole tongue at the end. I don't know what that was all about. But there was a meeting you were in, and I've been thinking about it since. And you got on this little rant with him about
The hamster wheel.
the hamster wheel and how you close the door and you go to Mars, you never come back.
And by the way, the only, like just real quick, because I don't know if you caught it. I said it before he said it, because I just listen to what people feel. Like, you know, it's so interesting. Go ahead.
You slam the doors, you go to Mars, you never come back. You would wish that on no one ever.
Because it's so scary.
But what I'm trying to figure out was what did that mean?
What did that mean?
What are you talking about?
When you are so I care about capitalism and meritocracy and the game more than I care about myself. And that is crazy shit. And I really don't see it. And only because I haven't gotten close to it or been figured out how to see it in others, but it is a different thing. When you get to that level of selflessness, it's a vulnerability that is so extreme, and it's so, I just think I'm cut out for it, and I don't want to force my audience into it, because their behavior probably hasn't been their whole life to be in it. Got it? Like, it's crazy to be 4'11" your freshman year of high school and still think you're the best looking, most popular. Like to be against the market my life is playing against the market. It's just something happened in the way that the world works that is working very much in my favor, but wouldn't have 30 years ago. The market was closed 30 years ago.
When you were at Icon, you talked, huge breakthrough for me. You already know it's a breakthrough. You know the stuff you say makes a difference in people's lives. But you were talking about what you're talking about earlier, that you're in the long game. You're not in it for the short term, make a sale right here, but you're in it for
that was an interesting vibe I took at that conference because I knew there was a lot of salespeople.
Yeah.
And I was coming with marketing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It was right on it was right on for where I was at in particular, because I was in the middle of capitalizing on everything that I know and putting it in a way that I could scale the things that I'm best at, right? The things that I'm good at. And I kept thinking, like, I can't be here, I can't be there, but if I'm in front of people, that's when I'm at my best. And so when you started talking about, look, I'm not in it for the short thing. I want to do a product, like you said here, I want to do it, but I'm not ready to do it yet because I haven't figured it out yet. And so this isn't so much more of a question other than I would just like to hear you talk a little bit more about whatever's on the top of your brain right now in regards to your personal brand, what you think about each day when it comes to that, and I don't know, however you've evolved since that time, because that was powerful.
It was always
Changed
there.
the game.
I've been able to start articulating, you know, it's really interesting. Even my early business talks, if you dug up some of those things, like I wasn't I wasn't there yet. Like I just, you know, you learn from experience. Like I mean, it's one move. Where's the attention? How do I create for that medium? Deploy the message. at scale. One person scale. Everyday work. Everyday work. You know? That's it, man. It's really.
Do you think about that, or is it?
I think about that.
Yeah.
And nothing else. And not my Facebook data. And not my followers. My self-esteem is not wrapped up in my 604,000 Instagram followers. Because there's some dude with awesome abs that has 900,000. Like, that's just not a smart game.
So it really, honestly,
I'm the most basic thing you've ever seen.
your central thought is, I'll just be me, and I'll be damn good at doing it.
Because I'm damn good at business and marketing and selling stuff and all, like, because I'm good at that. Again, I keep saying it, and it's funny. It's this whole thing that I'm fast. It's why I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I can do this forever. Because nobody believes me.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
I built a business, a real business, before I started talking. And it was against odds. $3 million. I love when people razz me on social and say, but his dad gave him a $3 million. A $3 million business that does 10% gross profit, which is $300,000 before expenses, is not some fucking war chest. Thank you, business people. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, there's a ton of people here making way more. There was no, like, it was like, and to build that from 3 to 60 million in 5 years took crazy talent as a kid. I didn't learn that at Wharton. And I didn't learn it by reading Purple Cow. I learned it because I'm the best, naturally. And now I'm just learning how to, like, now I'm just playing for legacy.
Where's the online attention of executives, like middle and high level?
LinkedIn, Facebook.
So, with that said,
Not just black and white tactics, you know? Those two places.
It's really interesting because I obviously would think LinkedIn, but we're getting more from Facebook, more attention.
Scale.
and I'm sure you've given your version.
Real quick, I apologize. But you just might be a better basketball player than you are a wiffle ball player. You just might not be good at LinkedIn. Respect. Your rugby skills are better than your cricket skills.
What is your definition of an entrepreneur? Because I know nowadays everyone.
Nobody likes my definition. I always get pushback on this. Just somebody who's never worked for anybody else in their lives. I mean, the purest bred entrepreneur couldn't breathe with any other thing. I barely walked into my family business where my dad gave me the complete control of the company right away. But that's just mine. Like, that's not, like, a lot of people really hate when I go here and I get a lot of pushback, and I respect that because it's cool to be an entrepreneur now. So everybody wants to think they are. You're not if you work at Pepsi. I don't know how to cut it. This is like when I got, there was that one talk with me and Casey on that Q&A, and the person asked, like, do you think there's a difference between men and women? And I said yes, and people got mad. I'm like, how is that possible? Yes, I think there's some differences. I didn't say one was better than the other or this and that. I'm always laughing about that. Like, I don't know, maybe you don't like me saying it, but this is what, I know enough about school that you can go and look up a definition, and I haven't seen the definition of an entrepreneur that maps to the person that works at Microsoft right now and claims they're an entrepreneur.
But tell us, who cares if we get it? Tell us.
Well, again, I just think that, I really don't, I do tell you, I do say it. I also don't think it really, like, I don't think my opinion matters any more than anybody else's. I think my results are gonna be different. I think that will give it clout over time. But I'm not super worried about it. I'm super worried about, I realize that there's something I'm doing that's right. I understand those things. And I hope that they can be a blueprint that is not copied, but understood contextually to yourself, and you can get the benefits from it. That may be the benefits that you may need from it. Too many people want people to emulate them. I don't. Because I know all the weird variables that come along with me. I just want you to be able to understand it, understand yourself, and then deploy it. Both. It sells the living shit out of stuff.
Because I find people go to Facebook, they're not actually really into buying stuff.
Wrong.
Buy stuff all day long.
Billions of dollars of selling. Billions this year. Most people don't know how to do it because they're trying to deploy Google AdWords DNA against Facebook. You have a bunch of sellers coming to a marketing platform. You're welcome.
To continue on the social media.
Yep.
You were very good at predicting Twitter and all those stats.
I'm really good at talking about it loudly when I've decided it's already won.
Okay. What has your attention right now? Past musically.
Not much. Marco Polo is an interesting communication tool. After school, I invested in a company called One. He pivoted. It's called After School now. It's doing well in high school. Not much. You know what's fun? You know what I've done really well? I haven't forced it. A lot of futurists or pundits say shit because they need another headline. I can be comfortable if I never have another one again. Got it? That's the biggest difference between me and everybody who else out there that people think are me. They're trying. Did you see how many people said "I told you so" about Vine? The fuck does that mean? I made millions of dollars because of Vine. That's like saying I told you that Empire was gonna eventually get canceled. No shit, dick. Hey.
Sorry.
Good to make it, man. How are you? Let's get him a chair. Like,
Could you deploy?
Go get a different angle.
Could you deploy this machine on
Yes.
a product?
Yes.
And bump
Yes.
the needle?
Yeah. Not only can I, do you notice how I tried to jump in quick? I can deploy this machine against changing America's opinion about Beyonce.
I know that's why I want that SaaS product.
I get it. And I promise you, I want the $40 trillion of valuation that my SaaS product would get. I just really want to feel good about it. I really do. Honey Empire, you know? Two very big contradictions. But like, look, if you want results that are an anomaly, you have to act like one. I've said that, or a version of that. That's what's happening. I'm pumped about this, man. I really hope I can live a long life. You know, I watched a movie, which is rare. I went to Helsinki and got all my work done. So the Europe, I've literally watched 7 movies in the last 2 years, and they've all been Europe back to America flights because of the way it works out, where I get my work done, I get a good night's sleep, I get on a plane, I have 7 hours, I get 2 hours of the catch up of the shit I missed overnight, and then I have this window, and I'm like, what the fuck? And no, and no Wi-Fi. It's a complete, like, you know? So I watched this movie. Did you guys see the movie of the Indian mathematician who dies? You did, D-Rock?
Yeah, I saw them in flight.
You did? From Helsinki?
No,
Oh.
there.
So there's just like some, yes.
But on the way to Helsinki.
So some all-time great mathematician that's in Oxford or whatever, you know, but he passed away at 32. That's probably the thing that's most on my mind right now. Like, fuck, man, I have to do this for me and humanity. Like, that's how big of an ego I have, to stay alive for a long time so I can see this through. I know I'm onto something so fundamentally different, and I know that I can inspire people to do it because it's gonna have the empire part too. See, that's what people don't get. The reason I'm gonna win is because I've got both. The honey part means that you wanna go change the world. The empire part means you'll do it at all costs. I'm neither. It's cool. It's really interesting because when I buy the jets, there's gonna be a lot of nice people that are 13 that are gonna think they can build a nice big business thing, do it the right way. I'm gonna redefine what an entrepreneur and business person is thought of. I think I can do it. Yeah, I think so. I think it's really different. That's why I'm dangerous. All the people that I'm not as pumped with online, watches, this and that, selling stuff, they're scared of me because I'm better at their shtick than they are. So I'm dangerous. It's fucking fun.
Do you have mini goals set up in?
Let me get the guy behind you real quick because he's been so awesomely patient.
Short backstory, basic question. High-end video production, aerial and design. First year ramen noodles, running all my gear. last 2 years, a lot of success, 16 to 18-hour days, and my dream is not that big. It's 5 to 7 people, all on the crew, doing bigger than what I can alone.
Love it.
How do I keep the momentum and build that team? I'm tired.
By-
I love it, and I keep going, but I'm tired.
By eating ramen noodles longer.
Saving higher.
You know, give up more money for yourself and give them to people. The 100 and the 67 that I just talked about. I did it, man. All my friends. I built Wine Library from a $3 to a $30 million business, and it got none of the fruits that a 26-year-old dude would love to take advantage of. Didn't even fucking step into New York City. You know? Instead of paying myself $280, I hired Ray Prado. Miss you, Ray. You know? You know what's cool about my answer? It's the only true answer to your question. Either you work and you're tired, so you can keep more of the money, or you don't have the fruits that come along with a little more money. And the fruits are very basic, right? It's not like you went from that to like caviar every night. It's just whatever is a little bit better. But you get very used to that better than before, and it stops you.
So all the way down to like every time.
This stuff is so basic. It's basic. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. We're not wired for it. We want stuff now. I just don't.
What wines are you drinking now?
That's a great question. Wine's been a very interesting journey for me because I'm not in the business anymore. I like it again. It's so fun. Like I'm a customer again. I'm a customer for the first time in my life. To answer your question, weird shit, like it's so crazy. Literally, it blows me away that I'm gonna say this. This is actually very non-nerdy, I'm like embarrassed in my wine self. I'm really hot on oaked Chardonnays, the thing that I made fun of for 10 years on Wine Library TV. But that's just a palate change, you know? It's like I grew up my whole life not liking chocolate and liking like the other kind of candy, and now I'm the reverse. Palates are, you too? Yeah, I don't even know when it happened. Yeah, not me. Oak Chardonnays, a lot of Piedmont wines, a lot of Barolos. I think that's the next category to pop, like the way Burgundy did, low production Barolo.
I brought some from Finger Lakes for you.
Love it, man. Riesling?
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you so much, it's very nice. Let's keep it going.
So, I love the document, don't create message.
Mm-hmm.
That resonated with me big time.
That was a big game changer. As a matter of fact, D-Rock, we're doing a bad job building on that momentum. We need to do much more content about that. That has been a game-changing piece of content for a lot of people.
It was tricky because I'm a creative director.
Yes, you are.
So I was like, how do I not create and perfect? And I know you're just like, ship it, get it up.
I mean, early Wine Library TV is.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to some of the questions.
And that helped. That
They're hearing well.
inspired when I saw you in the hallway. And
Yeah.
I was like, will you do a Yiddish video with me? Like, boom, just da-da-da-da.
And you know what's so interesting about that? And you know me. If it wasn't that, it had no chance.
Oh, sure.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, do you know how desperate I am to go into that club and do the reading for you? It's just time.
Oh, I
I
get
can't win.
No, it's
But you did it fast, and we did it.
I loved it.
And it's a really interesting insight for you.
Big time.
Because you lived it with me. You wanted me to go and do that event. You know, we have a great little rapport with each other. I desperately want to. I said I would. I never like to go back on my word. It destroys me. And then that, you know, it's so, that's interesting. Doing is the only fucking game.
Yeah, I mean, and I loved it because I got to see a little bit more into you because I think you're so incredibly generous and kind, but when you started talking about your grandmother, it just, like, everything sort of melted away. You were so happy. And it really.
And don't forget, and you know what's interesting about it? That's the grandmother that I actually have publicly said multiple times is not a very nice person.
Well, I believe it.
But where you went there is, where it went for me is my grandma represents the bigger thing, which is, and I even get emotional about it, and I never do, as you guys know. this group of 13 characters that came to this country with nothing. Zero. Like zero. $100 because we sold our shit in Italy while we're waiting to get to this country. It was supposed to be paved with gold, but oh wait, it's the late 70s and it's a recession time. Fucking grinded for like forever. Like these kids that are like, like kids that grow up in good families and don't want to grind for a year before they want shit. This was 20 years of building some, I just dismissed a $3 million business doing 300, like, right? Even the tone that I brought it with, that took my dad his whole life to get to that point. Because that's what you do when you have zero. How dare I do that? He had zero.
How to keep your kids grounded?
You don't.
It reminded me a lot.
I'll get back to that.
My grandmother.
Yes.
They came with nothing
Yes.
as well, and I got very upset. I was kind of like,
Yeah.
But I am a very patient person, and I have been building this live storytelling show and podcast, and now we're starting to do storytelling workshops. I've talked to Steve and Claude here about doing them here as well. And I have started talking to local partners about how we can work together. And with some of these partners, their social media numbers are just like off the charts compared to mine. And I know for the podcast, in order to interest advertisers, that you need to have a certain number of listeners and downloads and all that.
I don't believe that, by the way.
Okay.
I believe that that's the way the majority of the market does it.
Yeah.
I think that if you're a really good salesperson,
Yeah.
did you ever see the video where I cold called somebody?
I saw that before, yeah.
I think you could, so you're so understanding of this industry,
And that's probably like.
that's your break. I think you should spend an hour a day cold calling, cold pitching a sponsorship deal on your podcast. That makes no mathematical sense.
Well, it's like a local, so I make ice cream cakes for this show that I do, and there's a local place who is blowing up right now, and they're very interested. We've had.
Yeah, but I would go to Ben and Jerry's and just see if you can get them there.
They're about to be as big as Ben and Jerry's.
But they're not.
But they're selling at Disney, too.
But they don't have a $100,000 sponsorship check for you.
Right.
Right.
So then I'm wondering, like, what, I have a lot to offer them, but I just wonder, like, how do I sort of.
You ask them. See,
Well, no, I obviously have no problem asking. I wouldn't.
I know.
Like when I first met you.
So go ask them.
Then I have to figure out the numbers and what we need and all that kind of stuff.
Don't sell on numbers, you don't have them. But not only that, that's just that's the module to get there. Never sell on your weakness. You shouldn't figure out any numbers. You don't have them.
No, I don't. And what got people excited about it, at least locally, is like my enthusiasm, my passion. I mean, I had an hour-long meeting that turned into
I know
3.
you. You better sell that.
Can you do for yourself what you just did for her?
What's that?
Most of us in this room can't see the forest for the trees when it comes to our
Right.
own stuff.
Okay.
But somebody else can. I could sit here and
Yeah.
listen to anybody, and they could do the same for me. Can you do that for yourself?
I think that's what I did. That's what I think I do best.
Where does that come from? Is that who you are?
Yeah, I think so. You know, that's actually what I do. That's why I'm so good at what I do. I'm looking at me right now just like you were looking at me. And that talent has been huge for me.
How often do
That's self-awareness, really, or a version of it.
How often do they call you out and say you don't see the forest, these are just the trees? Do they ever? What does that look like?
I don't even know if they do or they don't. It's like literally white noise. There's no executive here or out there that can possibly penetrate. They just can't. I haven't listened to anybody my whole life.
Is that why your dad let you take charge of his company?
Probably. You know what's so funny? I swear to God, I've never thought of this. Maybe I just took it. Maybe he didn't give it to me. I'm being dead serious. You know, I actually am gonna ask, like, you might just be right about that. Maybe he didn't. And the truth is, knowing my dad, he probably definitely didn't. You know? No question there's some of that. There was, maybe my dad, I was razzing him as EQ. Maybe he understood there was no other option. Either that's what it was gonna be or I was gonna go garage sale until, I was willing to do anything. I really struggled entering my dad's business. I didn't want that comment on YouTube about the 3 million. I didn't want it because I know I didn't need it because I knew it wasn't that much.
Best place you traveled outside the United States?
Turks and Caicos. And I think the reason that, is, I've thought about this, so that's why I was able to answer and give you the follow-up, is just really hardcore fond family moments. You know, me and Lizzie by ourselves, the kids, one trip with my parents. It just, Mike Lazaro, founder of Buddy Media, had a place, like just real families, like, yeah, Turks.
I got engaged there 2 years ago. It was amazing. Quick question. I'm in the wedding industry, grew up in the business, took it almost from my father, you know, kind of took it. Because he had no choice, right? It was kind of that dynamic. But the question I have now is that in the entertainment world, we do mostly weddings. And so within the wedding industry, everybody's a small business, small photographer, small DJ, small florist, everybody's small. What I've done now is I've signed a 10-year lease to build what's going to be called the wedding establishment. I vertically integrated to create all of these small businesses under my name, under one roof. The question I have—
You want to be Vince McMahon?
Kind of. I want to be Gary Vaynerchuk. But the thing is, reverse engineering it, and if I say in 10 years I do want to sell it at, you know, I'm 7 to 10 million or whatever, the fact of the matter is that small businesses in the wedding industry, they just don't have that kind of money. Where would I go to sell something at that level?
So one thing that people are confused by is who might buy something in business. Unlimited people. First of all, you worry about building a business that's profitable, you can sell it. I mean, what do you think New York City's built on? It's banking. You have a business that's profitable, you can sell it. I'll buy it. Because I'll look at it and be like, I can do that better. And I'll buy it at what he's got it at, and I'll run it through my machine, and it'll be worth a lot more.
Vayner Weddings?
Interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
that's
okay.
a really silly, you know, and by the way, I say a lot of silly things in the world that I don't come from.
Right.
That's an unbelievably silly question. If you have because you're thinking so micro, dude.
But I only say that because of
You could sell it to the guy in town that's so impressed who wants to buy a business for his loser son.
But the thing is, it's a wedding, and there's no.
I don't even understand what you're saying.
Okay.
You are so microed out.
Okay. I get it. Okay, I get it.
You should get it. There's private equity, there's banks, there's rich people who have loser sons, there's a wedding company that you never heard of that's going to become the Uber of weddings that wants it. You have kids?
15.
You have a 15-year-old?
15-year-old.
15 I followed. Them. Like there's a million different things that can happen.
No, I guess,
you're getting way
like
too.
We get caught in our
You're
own.
caught so deep. I want to razz you because I could see you could take it. You're so deep in it. It makes no sense.
I just think
Specific. Period.
Right.
You just thought
Yeah.
way too much.
Sorry.
No, but you know what I mean?
No,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
That's no problem. Build a business.
Yeah.
Everything else will be fine.
Gotcha. Love it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I'm just pumped for you. That's why I'm razzing, because that's not a problem at all.
Okay.
Cashing out is not a problem when you have something that's good. Hey, one more here.
I have a small family business that's about 3.5 years old now, and the biggest issue we seem to have is we have minimum wage employees.
Yes.
Kind of recruiting them and retaining them.
Yes.
I've never really heard you say anything about kind of the lower paid jobs and kind of. Do you have any advice on?
I sure do. Do you talk to them?
Yes.
Do you really know what they care and like?
Yeah, I feel like I do. Yeah.
Well, then you should have no problem.
Even with recruiting, like what I've found is just go through loads and loads and loads of different people and just you find like one or two. It's really difficult to find those people who are gonna for those that are like kind of the lower wages.
How are you making that decision when you go through loads and loads of people to find that one diamond in the rough?
My gut basically is basically what you.
You're overestimating your gut.
Okay.
I think I have the greatest gut of all time. I hire everybody. You passed on the 10 best employees you could have ever had. Got it? Mm-hmm. Got to build scalability in unscalable things. That's where I think, that's as I'm thinking about it, like that's where I get it. Like I do unscalable things, but everything I do about that is scaled. Like it's kind of interesting that way. Oh, let's go ahead and then we'll go there. You got some?
Culture
Culture. I mean, and then the other thing that matters is running good business, right? But culture's number 2. Yeah, it's so big. I mean, I'm in the people business. The hell am I doing here? But I did that with Wine Library too, even though we sold wine, because you're always in the people business. What's that? Oh, yes. You can't fake environment. You can't fake environment. My kids are gonna grow up on the Upper East Side, go to private schools, have friends that are on the Aspen ski team, but they live in New York because they take a private plane after school on Thursday and go to Aspen. This is real. I'm gonna be ridiculously famous and wealthy. Like, I'm not gonna be able to fake environment. I need to teach them truths. But are they gonna be as hungry as I am? Unlikely, maybe. Maybe it's just a hardcore DNA thing and they were able to overpower environment. Maybe they look at my mountain and say, fuck you, Dad, I'm gonna climb it. Like I did. Because Jesus Christ, my dad seemed really successful to me because that was my context. I didn't know about the Zucks or, Bill Gates. Like, I didn't think about that. So you just can't fake environment though. And that's why I always laugh at all these rich parents because they try. And those are tactics. We're gonna send them to a camp in Maine this summer that doesn't have air conditioning. Oh yeah, Johnny's really gonna be hungry. I mean, are you kidding me? All right, hold on one second. Let me get in here and I'll come back.
This is from Cave.
Cave?
Cave?
Cave? Cave's a middle school?
Middle school principal.
Oh, damn.
Principal. He's
But
also a
respect.
teacher.
Go ahead.
Teaches entrepreneurship. If you ran your own middle school, what's the first class you would drop, and what would you replace it with?
That's a great question. I would drop, first class I would drop, fuck. It's interesting. I respect and disrespect them all equally in some weird way. I would audit every kid, one by one, figure out what they were weakest at, and make them drop that, and then make them double down on what I thought they were strongest at. That's the game.
How do you?
I'll come back to you next.
How do you ignore what everybody else is doing and not compare yourself to anybody else?
Because I think I'm better than them. That's a really tough thing to even say out loud, but it's the truth to your question. I just do. It's so crazy. It's back to the SaaS product. I'm sitting on this perfectly parented because I know it could be all time, but I've got to really give it my all. I can half-ass crushed it and it's going to be a monster and real valuable, but I've got to really, really drill this perfectly parented because it could be all time. Like all time. Like, well, Bible, perfectly parented.
Spring 2017, Don't Listen to Your Parents comes out.
Is that right?
And I wrote it.
Love it. I think I can write it better. Because the truth is, and nothing we do, nothing, like all this stuff has been said and then those are, you know what I mean? Love that. And I believe that. But like everybody's got their version of it. And I feel like deep in my soul, I got a good one in me. I can't wait but that's awesome, man. I love that shit. All right.
This is from Matthew. What's the next big advertising platform you see coming? Twitter is struggling, Reddit just came out with interest-based ads, and Snap is teasing us with ads platforms. Facebook ad costs are going up, so I'm trying to see down the road.
I don't know. I think Facebook is grossly underpriced. I think influencers are grossly underpriced. I'm not worried about who's doing what next. I just don't have I have zero interest in what's next. I only care about what's now. It doesn't matter. It'll matter when it happens.
And that's what you sell your clients?
100%. I don't sell, VaynerMedia doesn't sell the future. VaynerMedia sells the now. It feels like the future when you do television and direct mail and outdoor. I sell the now, always have, most practical guy in the room, don't have the personality that feels practical, and most people don't think it's practical because everybody plays in the past. Because the past is for average players. The data. Data told you what happened, not where it's going. Big data is a farce. You have to interpret it and make a decision.
When you're strategizing with companies, do you ever tell the CEOs that they should build their brand? Because I feel like it's such a huge underutilized platform, like traction channel for a company. It's like, why are more executives building their
I really don't. It's not what we're being hired for. Vayner Talent might be interesting. We may have a CEO from Hewlett Packard that wants to, like, so, not.
Like, these guys have literally like 50 Twitter followers sometimes. Like,
Yeah,
nobody
and,
knows about them.
well, and they don't care. I mean, do you know how many people make $91 million a year that you've never heard of?
Like mid-sized businesses, don't you think that's a traction channel they can,
I do, but do you know how many people are introverted, not interesting, don't like people, bad dudes?
like 70%, there's 30% that shouldn't?
I agree. I tell them every day. They can find me. You know what I mean? It's out there. I believe in it. I talk, you know, but like, yeah, yes I do. I think they should. It's just not.
On something that everyone else is doing in marketing and sales.
Yep.
There's not too much competition in that space.
You're right. It's just not, I'm just not interested in convincing anybody to do anything. I have this weird non-sell thing, you know? I just viscerally hate to sell. People don't get it.
Is it because you're so good at it?
No, I wish that was it. That's cool. That's a cool, I may just take that because it's cool. No, because I don't like it.
It's a manipulation?
No, it's like, I just don't want anybody to have the leverage. And if you're asking, the other person has the leverage. You know? So I just sell on having it come to me. So if a CEO emailed me and said, hey, I want to build my personal brand, I'm thrilled to have that conversation. But I'm not going to tweet you and be like, hey, Rick. You know?
Cool. From Kelly.
Kelly.
Fantastic. I'm struggling to convince clients of the value of putting out digital content consistently. Basically, as you so perfectly explained, brands having to become their own media outlet. How important is it to storytell? I'm struggling to convince them that this is the way.
You're selling the wrong people, Kelly. Find the ones that are sellable. That's just it. I mean, I'm sure as people have gone down my rabbit hole, the thing that's probably most interesting is two things, I think. I'm asking you guys actually. One, how historically correct I was. And two, how very little has really changed in my message over the last decade. And that's it. I don't think you should sell people that aren't sellable to. You should find every person that believes in e-com instead of convincing people. Do you know how many people believe in e-com that you haven't talked to yet? All of them. All of them. To spend 1 minute on trying to convince somebody that believes in something else, e-com is not smart. It's bad strategy.
Text messaging. So we're here. This is the ultimate. Access is the ultimate thing, right? The explosion of messaging apps, WhatsApp, messages, Snapchat, all that stuff. How can you leverage that without sacrificing your sanity and all your time? Do you even think about that?
What do you mean?
So there's a guy right now,
Mm-hmm.
he started I don't see anybody doing anything like this at all. He started, rather than doing a Facebook group, he says, I'm gonna do a Facebook chat. Now it's annoying because I'm always getting notifications popping up, but I see.
Let's stop there.
Yeah.
That's gonna play itself out.
His thing is gonna play itself out.
For you, because the first word out of your mouth is it's annoying. So you're valuing it as a marketer because you're seeing it a lot, but seeing it and consuming it, seeing it, consuming it, and acting on it are two very different things.
So let me set it up.
Go ahead.
I get energized by my students contacting me. And just like you get energized, people telling you, man, I did what you said, it worked.
I mean, the amount of time, I mean, you guys remember, I for a few minutes tested VChat, like a little fake little app, like, go ahead.
I get energized by that
Yeah.
stuff, but I cannot scale that. I've got 30 students now, right? But when I have 300, there's no way that I can make that happen unless I have them pay for that access, right? So that's one avenue. But is there a...
You're looking for the scalable version? What are you gonna sell your message app that can answer the questions for $19.99?
No.
Okay.
I'm looking to charge myself up, but I don't know how to do, and messaging is an amazing way to
Give
do
them
it.
your cell number.
I just think that text messaging is so huge, but I don't see anybody effectively scaling it.
Okay.
I gotta think about this a little bit more.
Let's stay on it for a minute. either you're not telling me the full story and it's not just about getting charged up, which is what I think, or you are a person that needs to see somebody else do something to give you belief in it. Both are bad. So which one is it?
There's probably a little bit of truth in the second one.
Good.
Right?
Good. That's fine. And there's, by the way, nothing wrong with fast following.
Yeah.
It's not as good as being the first one, but it's super fine. And if you're better at it, it's even better. So go ahead.
But I truly, I feel like my purpose,
Yes.
outside of being a father,
Yes.
is not necessarily fulfilled, but I feel like I'm getting closer to realizing my purpose.
Which is?
To help people get unstuck from stupid things that prevent them from doing.
So let me ask you a question. If that's your purpose, my friend, why don't you do it for free like I do it, since it's my purpose too? Purpose? It's your purpose.
Yeah.
If it's free, you'll have more people. Now show me in your actions that it's actually your purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
Because it's the truth. Your purpose doesn't come with an asterisk attached for $4.99 a month. Not your purpose. Your business does.
Yeah.
But please don't bullshit me the difference between your business and your purpose. You know how much I could charge for what we're doing here right now? A lot more than the fucking what was it, 3, 4?
Yeah.
Is it your purpose? Because if it is, do it for free and give everybody your fucking cell phone number. That's the realest shit, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's it. And by the way, it doesn't have to be your purpose. You're not Mother Teresa. She actually, every time I say that, people get mad. I guess she has a lot of controversy, so I gotta find somebody else. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Back to judging, you don't have to, but you can have that conversation with a lot of people. I'm the worst guy to have that conversation with on earth. Because I have the most ability to charge, and I'm the only one doing it for free at scale.
Yeah.
So you just walked into the wrong guy for that conversation.
Well,
But go ahead.
Don't you get annoyed with the yahoos who try to get your attention who aren't willing to do jack squat?
I don't even know what you're talking about. That's how little I pay attention.
Word.
I don't even know, you know?
Yeah.
I get worried because I know that that's happening and a lot of people are falling for it. I get mad at when people say to me, Gary, give me tactics. I'm giving it to them, and then they're getting it for free for me and then paying somebody $4.99 for their Snapchat book. And all that guy did was literally rip my content and put it into a PDF. I get mad at people's fucking stupidity. And that's why I'm gonna systematically go one by one of those fucking hucksters and put them out of business. Over a 50-year period. By building the biggest fucking empire on honey. To inspire other people to be like, wait a minute, you can do that? Yes, you can do that. You can do it by fulfilling your purpose and then selling something else. That's just different from everybody else. Just is.
Hey Gary.
How are you, my friend?
Good, thank you for having us. My question, more
You got one, Alex?
business-related,
The second one's interesting. When you said, do I share the P&L with them?
Yeah, what are the goals for the business and how much are you sharing with them? How do they know that they're being treated appropriately, I guess? I'm going through this with my business.
Yeah. Got it. That's an interesting question, man. So this is where it's very hard, bro. This is where you go into the empire part. I don't think I need to open the books. I'm comfortable with like opening them if I felt like I had to. I don't trust the ability for 800 people to interpret it. I feel great about it because I don't know, it's gotten better for everybody and we're gonna make less money as a company this year, so it'd be a good time for me to share it, you know? Appropriate is a one-person game. I don't know if D-Rock feels like he's being appropriately, taken care of, but I try to have that conversation. I try to be a kind of person that you could have that conversation with. There's a lot of people I've had a couple of them this week that I viscerally disagree with. I feel like they're overcompensated. They feel like they're undercompensated. The good news in this scenario is I'm the judge and the jury, as they are. they're more than welcome to go out to the universe.
How often are you auditing your goals and changing them?
I only have one goal. Stay in business and build the capabilities to deploy against the future behaviors. Really. I mean, I don't know what to say. We literally flat out made less money this year at 100 than we did last year at 67. For a lot of people in this room, especially based on your questions, that would be disastrous. For me, it is phenomenal.
We're just investing in the people and the business.
Yeah, just investing. But you're asking a more interesting question, which is whoever you're worried about that disagrees with you, that they're not getting comped properly, make a decision if you're willing to reach those goals.
And it probably has more to do, I am a follower mostly for the business sense that you bring to the table. I love what you talk about valuing employees. I love what you did at Wine Library. It means a lot. For me as a business owner, new business owner. That you invested in these people. More than you invested in yourself. And I think
that's how you invest in yourself.
Right, I think it is an investment in myself.
Of course.
I'm taking that one.
But sometimes you can't afford stuff.
Sure.
Like if I gave everything everybody wanted here, we'd close tomorrow.
No doubt about it. But I think being transparent sometimes gives them some perspective on how much I'm putting into it.
Show them.
That's why I asked.
Show them. I don't think people get it though. Like that's the biggest reason I probably would never share my books at scale is because if I decided that in 3 years to make 17 million, I don't think my employee that makes 140,000 understands the difference between them and me.
I didn't until I was a business owner.
You got it. There's not an employee on earth that knows what it feels like. That was such a cool quote, that whole sign the front of the check versus the back of the check. That was super gangster, I like that. Like, they don't know. And by the way, they shouldn't know. You don't know until you do it. You could dream about what your first kiss is gonna be like. You just don't know what it is until you have it. You figured it all. I figured out how to be a parent because I was 11 years older than AJ, and when I was 18 and he was 7, I was really his parent. My ass. I fucking walked into Misha's fucking room every day the first 6 months just hoping she was still breathing. You know? You don't know. And what you don't know for sure is I thought, well, after they're 7, I'll feel better. I'm gonna be scared forever. So.
Are you scared forever in business?
I'm never scared in business. Ever. Never have been, never will be. It's the thing I do. I genuinely believe that I'm LeBron and Beyonce. I genuinely believe that.
What does scare you?
Health and wellness of my family. Nothing else. What else? Like, what else? And I've gotten weirdly better at this. I used to be really scared of dying. I brought up tonight that I wanted to live long enough to see it through, but I'm less scared of dying, which I don't really fully understand yet. Might just be I guess that's what happens, right? Like it's the first time in my life I'm like, oh, that's why 87-year-old Rick is like, I get it. That's kind of cool and different and interesting, but trends are changing and I want to be 120 and Yeah, I mean, you want them to have empathy for you and what you're dealing with.
I want them to know that
You want them to have empathy for you, as you should. You know what I mean? You want them to have compassion for what you're dealing with. You want them to know.
I want them to know I'm telling them the truth.
I know.
I'm investing in the business.
I know. Do you remember being the kid and not the parent? Remember being a kid?
Sure.
You can only get so far. You're only going to believe your parents so much. Because, boy, I'll get to you, my man. When you show them the books, and then you find out that Kristen whispered to Tyler that you fudged the numbers, your heart will break. Do you know that they don't believe me? Do you understand? Even the best agency you've ever seen, they don't believe me. They wait for every moment to not believe me.
Do you think that's because a lot of them are so green?
No, I think because they're jaded. They don't believe me. Because of the game. The kids believe me a hell of a lot more than the 30 and 40 and 50-year-olds that have been burned by 17 other agencies. Experience is what fucks you up. I just know what you're in for. I've been there. If you want the good stuff, it comes with a lot of bad stuff.
I love it all.
Me too.
It's happening pretty soon, and we're going through meetings, and I'm just curious how much to share with them.
That isn't the punchline. The punchline is, are you giving them what they want on a one-to-one basis? By the way, a lot of times it isn't money.
No, I know that.
Good.
Responsibility.
Whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. Tickets to a baseball game, a vacation, an acknowledgement. There's just a billion different variables. Spend a lot more time worrying about Susan and Rick and less about the thesis behind what you're thinking about. And it will work itself out. See where I'm going? That's the winner. How many employees you got?
5.
How often have you gone to dinner one by one with the 5?
Not yet.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's the answer. That's where your problem is. 5, I wish. Good. You know how you get to 500? By taking your 5 to dinner every fucking day. Really. You should really go to dinner one by you and Rick, and you should go to dinner once every 4 to 6 months. And it should start with like, tell me the truth. I'm in a constant battle here to get them to believe me that I want to hear it. I'm not scared of anything they're gonna say. The fuck are they gonna say? That I'm wrong? I'm like, good, you go build it. Like, that I don't get it? I'm like, I promise you I get it. Because here's what I know. The ones that have left, they want to come back real bad. That's the punchline. You can't wonder what they think. You have to know what they think. Problem is, a lot of times you don't want to know what they think, whether you know it consciously or subconsciously. Ireland. What's your name, my friend? Real pleasure. Thanks for coming in. Yeah. Are you guys gonna hang out with each other after I leave?
I think we should.
I think people should. By the way, I recommend like smaller groups. You try to boil the ocean, it won't be as good.
I'm in the health and fitness industry, and across we have 9 different Facebook pages.
Okay.
And across the 9 pages we have about 12 million followers.
Okay.
And we're sending 500,000 clicks a day to fitness articles. But I kind of want to set up a personal brand as well. What would be the first step you would take?
What do you want?
Zero personal brand.
You have 0 personal brand?
Yeah.
And you want to build
So,
your personal brand?
Yeah, so like.
And what do you want to talk about?
Not really sure yet. So more clear on that.
You better figure that out, you know? And I don't mean like tactically, especially from a guy who's behind a tactic-based business. You need to think higher up what you want to talk about, then talk about it, and then use the distribution channels to bring awareness to it.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I was the wine guy. And then I started talking about business content and nobody wanted me to. They said, stick to wine guy, right? Got it? So you could talk about flying kites. I would still use your scaled reach of the other channels because some people are into fitness and kites.
And would you start with like set up a personal website, or would you like start with social media, like set up an Instagram and
Both.
start traffic to that? Both.
All of it.
Thank you for Crush It and for all your stuff. It's changed my life, literally. It's awesome.
Did Crush It change your life? By the way, that's the punchline. While I've got all of you, the book that I'm writing next is called Crushed It. And the subtitle is how these 44, 17, 92 people read Crush It and crushed it, and how you can too. So anybody here who has not embellished, don't do me any favors because it'll hurt me if you're full of shit. And we're gonna spend real time trying to figure out if you're full of shit. And if you told me that Crush It changed your business and it didn't, then I'm really never gonna talk to you again. But if you were affected by Crush It with tangible results, I wanna get those stories.
Yeah.
Please email me.
Yeah, I will.
Actually, email Alex.
It was good timing. I read it in like 2011, 2012. I created this product out of my family business. It's called Baking Steel. Literally changed my life.
That's awesome.
It's awesome. I'm having a blast doing it. My former life, I was a foodie, so I'm kind of combined.
I love it.
Both were spinning it off my family business. I'm running into that scenario. Do I have an issue? I mean, the good news is I've created this product for consumers, right? But it's one-off. I'm gonna sell you one, and
Yeah.
right? It could be a long-term problem.
You either
you
create an ancillary product that figures out how to make the next step, or you are happy with being the George Foreman grill.
Okay.
Or you do that and you create something completely different and get your creative juices nut off.
Right. Okay. That's kind of what we did. I've got product number 2.
Yep. All of them work. You just have to be good at any one of those versions. And a lot of times people fail in that second product because they use too much of what made their first product work in their second product without realizing the differences in the world from one to the other or the competitive landscape of the new one.
Sure, that's great.
Good.
Yeah, and the content part is awesome. Or more of that. You can't do enough.
I know, listen, I mean, trust me, like back to ambition and not, like, you will not believe how much I was like, fuck man, I wish I wanted a 5-person, like, I think that's awesome. Like, I'm not joking. Like, I'm convinced, this is not even a debate, that I'll be 80 and be like, wish I wanted a little less, could have done a little more. Like, I already do. I do now. I don't have to guess. I wish I would. This is not a joke, and you're all gonna be like, no, don't. If a drug came out to siphon out ambition DNA, I would do it. I'm telling you why. Because exactly where I am now, I can settle into a $4 to $13 million a year life being just me. Write one book, speak 140 times, and be done. Still not siphon from you, and be good. And fucking take my kids on these trips and fucking chill. And not deal with the fucking fires I'm dealing with right now. I got a lot of them. I got 5 offices and 770 people.
When are you coming to Sydney?
I was just there.
No, I know, I was there as well.
Yes, I remember now. Actually, that's so weird. That clicked for me a little bit. That was cool. I like how the brain works.
No, I mean, an office.
Office. There's gonna be a real battle between Sydney and Singapore. I'm fascinated to see how it plays out for VaynerMedia. I used to think Singapore was gonna win. Now I think Sydney's gonna win because I think we'll actually just go directly into China. We're gonna have to. There's no other way to win in that market.
Cool.
Yeah.
Australia, I think, could do with New Zealand.
Yeah, I love Australia. I mean, that to me is such an easy market because I'm cozy with it from the wine world.
Yeah, and it's I mean, my world is payroll in Australia, and we're like, it's terrible this is being recorded because I'm about to tell you a secret, but my business is so easy because I'm like in a market that's 20 years behind everyone else. In this
By the way, all of the markets. You didn't say anything crazy.
Okay.
Every market.
I just thought I offended everybody.
All of them. All the markets. That's the crazy part. If you actually deploy modern tactics against any business, it will work. You got anything?
Well, everyone kind of had questions that were good. You put out a lot of content that's good. But one thing, back to dads. My dad, I turned him on to your stuff recently when I said I was coming here. He always says 2 out of 10 people get it, and the other 8 don't. Do you believe that?
I think the numbers are way worse. I think your dad's an awesome optimist. You know, I think look, I mean, goes back to entrepreneur, like, what's the definition of get it? I think you got a good insight. As much as you know me, I'm pushing way harder than you think on the heady shit. Like, I'm way up there. Yeah. I'm just trying to stay down here because I want to keep it as practical as I can, but like, getting it to me is literally my definition. Care about nothing except the health of the people you love the most. 0. Super interesting in theory. What a wild game to do in practice, like in real life, and execute on. You know, I can't sustain stress.
How do you execute on that?
I don't. You know. Perspective, just dictatorship around perspective. Like, if I had 1 employee, if that sounded better, and did $1 trillion, but if I bought the jet, I've said this, I know some of you heard it. If I bought the jets tomorrow, and I got a text that Xander got hit by a bus and died, what the fuck do you think I'm gonna do? You think I'm gonna be pumped about the Steelers game next week? I may never recover. What the fuck's the matter with people? If all 5 of your employees hate you with their guts and are gonna leave tomorrow, I promise you, that's way better than the person you love the most dying tomorrow. So I don't understand why one would, but we do not act like that. We do not act like that. We don't act like that. We don't act like that. And that's it. Now, when I put on my jersey, which is what I'm doing right now, when I'm in it, I'm in it. But it's like this fucking parallel, like it's like the programs that run behind the scenes on your computer. Like there's a parallel thing that's going on with me that's just always has that in mind. It doesn't take away from me wanting to destroy everybody and fucking deal with everybody and do my thing. I'm not leaving anything on the field with you in these 2 hours, but it's running. You know? It's fucking running. The email newsletter. It was the Hustler Digest, yeah.
I'm like, okay, did you go back to automation? Did you think that the audience could?
No, because I don't think there's anything I'm doing in that email that makes you think I'm personally sending you that email. Like when you signed up for it, it said it's an email newsletter that comes out once a week. I don't like when people try to use automation to trick you into thinking it's them. I was curious if you were gonna go down that path. Like, you see what I mean? Mm-hmm. I love automation. I don't like when automation is a front for actual. And I've done a bad job historically creating that clarity. I hope you got that one, D-Rock, because that's needed out there. You see what I mean? That's all. I don't like the deceptiveness of like, oh, when I would say that story in my keynotes about like, then the emails came out with your name on it. They were trying to act like they wrote it. See where I'm going?
That's all I have. I just came
Yeah.
in the view.
No, yeah, the view is.
Gary, I'm curious
Yeah.
because what you just said and the conversation on scale, how many people here have got any platform, because the attention game is you bump in 80 different places. How many people have had a direct contact from Gary?
You mean like a heart on Instagram and reply to email?
Facebook,
Yeah.
Twitter, Snapchat. Thank you, I watch it, TY, get this person contacted.
I emailed.
That's what's scary.
I emailed Gary about this whole thing.
I got one, and it was an email. What I think scary is that we don't do that in our businesses. And I run a brick and mortar for freaking 10 years plus.
I'm the busiest of all of you.
We don't do that in our own business with our 50 employees.
You know what's interesting? You know what's also interesting? When I say I'm the busiest of all of you, and you made that face because you're hustling your ass off, the punchline isn't that I'm actually the busiest of, it's just that I'm so busy that whether I'm working 18 hours and 3 minutes and you're working 18 hours and 4, the punchline is it can be done.
The face was due to what would happen if he was around 10 years ago. That's the hustle. That's the difference in the hustle.
You know what's crazy? I work harder now than I did 10 years ago.
Yeah, but what advice would you give yourself now, 10 years, like from now, and when you look back, because you look back and you think you're harder, but you're smarter.
You think I'm smart?
You're way smarter today
for
than
sure.
10 years ago.
But I'm also working harder too. Like,
videos,
by the way,
library videos gave me confidence to do my show.
Yeah.
My ass wasn't getting on video.
Yeah.
Until I saw that and I go,
he can do it. That cat, I can do it. Yeah. You know what's crazy is how much harder and that makes sense. That's why like it's momentum. Like it's interesting. I just think it's so interesting. Stuff is tried and true. I'm fascinated by that. But you know, thank you for asking that question, because I don't know how he caught it, but if we have the right clip to that moment, boy, there's a lot of people that don't even do it once. Right. There's people literally, some of you have never replied to a single comment on a social media post that you've made for your business to somebody that replied to it.
It takes 5 seconds too. It's like, why don't they do it, you know?
Can I say, you referred to that in the Beachbody speech?
Yes.
Yeah, because you went to people's Instagram and said,
I did. I always do that. I always do that because I'm curious. When people leave, I'm so weird. I don't do a lot of things I should do, and I do different things. There's no reason for somebody to leave a comment on my Instagram saying, learn the hustle from Gary Vee. And for me to spend 4 minutes on that in a world where, like, click on that person, look at it, versus all the things I should be doing, it's insane, but it gives me context. It's so interesting, but boy, people aren't doing it. People love to say it. People hate to do it.
I mean,
think about how good you felt when you heard from Gary?
Oh, the greatest. I would shit my listen, I wrote the blog post. It's the Ricky Henderson effect. That dude fucking winked and it's been forever. Fucking love Ricky. A wink. It's how I got Oprah on Instagram. Go look at Oprah's first picture on Instagram. It's me. Fat me. I got it because I asked, like she was trying to get it. I was like, did you ever wink at anybody on set? She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, did you ever wink at anybody while you were in between commercial break taping your show of the people in your audience? She goes, of course. I'm like, do you understand they've been telling that story for the last 30 years? So take 1 hour of whatever the fuck you're doing and spend it on that over 2 and 3 and 7 and 9 minutes at a time.
I'll give you a short little story real quick.
Sure.
So
We can talk about your mom because I'm still trying to win her over.
She's starting her own business. She's opening a salon and everything. It's crazy, and she loves down out of school. She's totally fine. Thank you for your help. But anyway, so I was listening to Lewis's podcast the other day. Lewis House.
Yes.
And he had it was Elizabeth Gilbert.
I don't know who she is. What's that?
She wrote like Eat, Pray, Love, or whatever.
Eat, Pray, Love. Yeah, it was a big book. I know that.
So she was giving
I've heard of that.
An example of she was talking about Oprah in it, and she says, "This is why I love Oprah so much." There was this big conference she does with like 20,000 people speaking in stadiums, and she had this little girl from the Make-A-Wish Foundation there, and everyone gave her all her attention. Like she should stand up, and Oprah said something. That wasn't the real thing. It was Oprah then said, you know, there's this other girl that really reminds me of myself. She loves to read. She's so passionate. And she actually brought out the girl's sister, who doesn't get any attention.
Of course.
Because the Make-A-Wish Foundation woman,
Yeah.
girl that gets all the attention. Her parents are
Yeah.
so focused on her.
Of course.
And she made that one girl extremely special.
It's really cool.
I had no opinion towards Oprah at all, but like hearing that story, I wasn't there. I'm sure so many people heard that. Just that little thing that she thought to do, you know, makes all the difference.
Yeah, and I was super mad at Oprah. Because that's easy. That's the $50,000 donation. What's hard is actually replying to people on social media. Everybody's got different stories. It's cool. That's why I'm super careful to judge anything. Unless I really know it. You know? Life is interesting. Sure is.
I have one quick question.
Please.
The stuff that you bought on eBay.
Yes.
Where did you sell that? I know on eBay, but you.
I gave it to my sister to sell. Boy, I love that game.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
It's just, you know, the level you're playing out with commerce is a little bit different. The Snapchat thing, guys, I'm getting emails from people that are homeless that made $100 garage sailing. It's game changing. Homeless. That's actually, by the way, that is my big little, I'm going very micro right now, trying to figure out this homeless people have smartphone thing that I'm really into it. I'm like, there's something real here. I need to figure this out. The same way I won on, you know, the Breakfast Club, the same way I won on like 20-year-olds. I'm like, you know, I don't want to be that guy. Like, oh, I'm gonna help, I'm not gonna sell my SaaS product, like, but I'm gonna learn, and I'm gonna learn. There's something really powerful there. It's the most powerful device in the world, and so many people that have the least have it. Never in a time in life has that been the case. Gotta figure that out. I will. The eBay thing is real. It works on so many levels for me. D-Rock and I are gonna do a full-pledged, all-in Daily V on garage sales. It's gonna be following me to the garage sales. I addressed this on one of the episodes. There were people that said I staged it. What the fuck's the matter with people? They're like, there's no way there's tags on this from a garage sale. Like, have you been to a garage sale? People sell brand new shit they never even opened. We're Americans, we buy shit and don't even use it. Anyway, we're gonna tape the whole thing. I'm gonna post it. And then it's gonna be the whole thing.
You're so right, because I have 3 kids.
Done.
And after I watched that, I went
But
through their
at the
stuff.
right time.
After I saw that, I went through my 3 kids' stuff and found so many things with tags. And I was like, oh my God, eBay, this is it. And I decluttered a whole bunch of stuff.
I asked Misha the other night, Misha, what have we learned from garage selling? She goes, that you can get better deals at garage sales than the toy store. That's right. Can't teach environment, but you can create new environments, little micro environments, right? I love you guys.
So much.
Thank you.